Hello friends, welcome to the video lecture series on digital image processing. I am Dr. Dafda, and in this 76th video class of DIP, we will study Walsh-Hadamard transform. Rather than calling this transform as Walsh-Hadamard transform, I will call it as Hadamard-Walsh transform. Why? Because we will first understand Hadamard transform, which is a reordered version of Walsh transform and is easy to remember, from which we can derive the Walsh transform easily. Okay. So in one of the video class, I received this comment saying that please make a video on different image transforms like Walsh, Hadamard, DCT, DWT, etc. DCT or discrete cosine transform we have already studied in video lecture number 46 of JPEG compression, and DWT also we have studied in video lecture number 47 of JPEG 2000 wavelet based compression. Today we will understand Walsh-Hadamard transform. Starting with the name, why it is called Walsh or Hadamard transform? Because Walsh transform was given by American mathematician Joseph L. Walsh, while Hadamard transform was given by French mathematician Jacques Hadamard. Walsh-Hadamard transform is an example of a generalized class of Fourier transforms, right? The Hadamard transform and Walsh transform are both examples of orthogonal transforms that can be used in image processing. These transforms have applications in image compression, feature extraction, image fusion, and other image processing tasks. Okay, so let us start. So very first thing is, what is the meaning of transform? See, transform means transformation from one domain to other domain. For example, Fourier transform transfers image from spatial domain to frequency domain, and both Walsh and Hadamard transforms are also a type of Fourier transforms only. Just in place of sine wave functions, it uses square wave functions. And next question is, why do we use transforms? Because it enables the identification of features that may not be easily detected in the spatial domain. The reasons for transforming an image from one representation to another are: the transformation may isolate critical components of image pattern so that they are directly accessible for analysis, and also the transformation may place the image data in more compact form so that they can be stored and transmitted efficiently. So this is the classification of image transforms, and we can see that Hadamard or Walsh transform has got the orthogonality. The basis functions are Walsh functions. The image energy is spread across all coefficients, and the applications are in image compression, fusion, pattern recognition, etc. And remember, each transform has its strengths and weaknesses, and the choice of particular transform depends on the specific requirements of the application. We will first understand Hadamard transform. Mathematically, the Hadamard transform can be given by these equations, and rather than going into the mathematical complexities, let us understand in simple terms. Hadamard transforms are transforms with non-sinusoidal orthogonal basis functions, unlike DCT and DFT. So it has got square basis functions, due to which digital implementation and getting the advantages of digitization is possible. The Hadamard transform is similar to the Walsh transform, which we will just understand, with the exception that the rows of transform matrix are reordered. The elements of Hadamard transforms mutually orthogonal basis vectors are either +1 or -1, resulting in minimal computing complexity in calculating the transform coefficients. So Hadamard transform is more fast as compared to the Walsh transform. Why? Because computing complexity is minimum. Also, Hadamard transform is more popular due to recursive matrix property and energy compaction. The Hadamard transform is also mutually orthogonal. That means Hadamard matrix into transpose of Hadamard matrix is equal to identity matrix. So a 2 cross 2 Hadamard matrix is given by, say, H2, which is equal to 1, 1, 1, -1. A 4 cross 4 Hadamard matrix H4 is made using H2 only. We can see here, this is one H2, this is second H2, this is third H2, and this fourth one is -H2. This is H2, same as this one, 1, 1, 1, -1. This also is same, this also is same, while the fourth one is minus of H2. That means minus of this. In place of 1, 1, it is -1, -1, and in place of 1, -1, it is -1, 1. Okay. Similarly, the 8 cross 8 Hadamard matrix H8 is given by H4, this H4, right? Again H4, H4, and -H4, that is minus of this matrix. So we can see that this matrix is recursive, and so it is computationally very fast. Now let us understand Walsh transform, which was proposed earlier as compared to the Hadamard transform. These are the mathematical equations for Walsh transform, and remember, the Walsh transform is faster signal transformation as compared to discrete Fourier transform. See, both Hadamard transform and Walsh transform are type of Fourier transforms only. The difference is in the basis functions that are used. The representation of a signal by set of orthogonal sinusoidal waveforms is called Fourier analysis. The frequency components are the coefficients of this representation, and the waveforms are arranged by frequency. To express these functions, Walsh in 1923 created a comprehensive set of orthonormal square wave functions. The Walsh function's computational simplicity stems from the fact that it is real function with only two possible values, +1 and -1. And as mentioned, these functions can be implemented more efficiently on a digital environment as compared to the Fourier that has got exponential basis functions. And the Walsh matrix is obtained by rearranging the rows of Hadamard matrix in increasing sign change order. So it is easier to remember the Hadamard matrix. Why? Because the components are recursive. Okay, 1 1 1 minus 1 1 1 1 minus 1 1 1 1 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. So for this Hadamard matrix H4, the functions may be ordered by the number of zero crossings or sequency, and the coefficients of the representation may be called sequency components. So here we see the number of sign changes per row. Let us say for this row, let us start with the last element. We go from this element to the previous element. So going from this 1 to 1, there is no sign change. Again going from this one to this one, there is no sign change because the element is as it is. Also going from this one to this one, there is no sign change. So the number of sign changes for this row is 0. Now let us consider this row. This is -1. Going from -1 to 1, there is one sign change. Okay. So this is one sign change. Again going from this one to this -1, there is again the sign change from 1 to -1. So second sign change. And going from this -1 to this one, again there is third time sign change. So the number of sign changes in this row is 3. -1 to 1, 1, 1 to -1, 2, and -1 to 1, 3. So number of sign changes is 3. For this third row, going from -1 to -1, there is no sign change. Going from -1 to 1, sign change is 1. And going from 1 to 1, no sign change. So only one sign change takes place from -1 to 1. So the number of sign change is 1. And for the last row, going from 1 to -1, sign change is 1. -1 to -1, no sign change. And -1 to 1, again sign change. So total sign changes are 2. 1 to -1 and -1 to 1. So number of sign changes are 2. Now to form a Walsh matrix from this Hadamard matrix, we have to first write the sign change and arrange the sign change in the ascending order 0, 1, 2 and 3. Now we will write the 0 row from this Hadamard matrix. The 0 row is 1, 1, 1, 1. So 1, 1, 1, 1 is 0. Okay. Then we will write the one sign change row. Which is the one sign change row? This is the one sign change row, that is 1, 1, -1, -1. So we will write here 1, 1, -1, -1. Then we will write two sign change row. Which is the two sign change row? This one, last one. 1, -1, -1, 1. 1, -1, -1, 1. And finally we will write the three sign change row. The three sign change row is this second one, right? 1, -1, 1, -1. 1, -1, 1, -1. So Walsh matrix is obtained by rearranging the rows of Hadamard matrix in increasing sign change order 0, 1, 2 and 3, and we write the Walsh matrix from the Hadamard matrix. So this is the Walsh matrix, which we will call W4, and that W4 is given here. And remember, W2 is same as H2, that is 1, 1, 1, -1. Now see, to find out W8, we have to write down H8 and calculate the sign changes and arrange in increasing order to form W8. We cannot directly form W8 from W4. Okay, remember this. The Walsh-Hadamard transform has got many applications, few of which are shown here, like image compression, image watermarking, edge detection, image encryption, biometric identification, pattern recognition, image fusion, etc. Let us implement few of these applications of Walsh-Hadamard transform in MATLAB. This program shows image compression using Walsh-Hadamard transform. It is using FWHT, that is fast Walsh-Hadamard transform. As there is FFT, similarly there is FWHT, and inverse FWHT, inverse fast Walsh-Hadamard transform. Let us run the program and see the output. So this is my original image, and this is the compressed image using Walsh-Hadamard transform. And the compression ratio that is obtained is 3.33 times. Similarly, this program shows image fusion using Walsh-Hadamard transform. Let us run the program and see the output. So this is our image 1, this is image 2, and this is the fused image that is obtained using Walsh-Hadamard transform. So we can see that this image is a combination of or fusion of image 1 and image 2. So that is all for this video class. You can find this PPT in the Google Drive link that is given in the description box. Also the MATLAB programs are given in the description box. Thank you very much.